I'm doing a show. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, and you look at that, and again, you look at the Texas game, 75-72. The shots were there. They should get close to 70 apiece, all right? You look at offensive efficiency for both of these teams, they're not bad at all. They're really not. Texas A&M ranked 34th in offensive efficiency. Their pace of play is 250, but if you look over the last 10 games, it's much better than that. So they're efficient, and then Northern Iowa, top 100 also. Pace of play, slow. But again, you got to look at it a little deeper. They'll play slow against slow teams, but they'll run with the fast teams. Total at 127, we locked it in at. I like this one to go over. And I guess, what's up, Jay Wayne? What's it say? What's it say? Sup, holla. Keep it coming. We're out here. Oh, I got you, bud. No problem. So yeah. And you look at the line. I believe it's up now, like 128 and a half, 129. Uh, and if you guys know me, clients or whoever, even if you guys listen to the show, I have no problem playing the under just because it's in the 120s. Like, I have no problem doing that. I do that a lot. I have no problem playing football unders in the high 30s. I did it all of last season and had a lot of success with it, especially with BC. So it's not because the number's so low that I think it should go. I just really like the over in this spot. I think it's to be a close game. I think you could get a lot of points at the end. So that's that one. And again, that's a client play. VCU is a free play. Next one. Middle Tennessee State, Syracuse. This is an interesting matchup. Syracuse still alive. Some say didn't deserve to even be in the tournament. They struggled down the stretch, but the key thing is they got that first win. Maybe that's good enough. Boeheim was out for a while. Team was much different when they came back. They sort of struggled, though. Middle Tennessee just snuck into the tournament, for those who don't know, on a buzzer beater to just get into the conference tournament. So, and obviously we all know what they did in their last game, the way they shot. Most importantly here, okay, the rims, if you've been watching these games, the rims here are extremely soft. You can see it. You can see the bounces, real soft bounces off the rim, and it makes a big difference. You can call me crazy or whatnot, but soft rims equals high scoring, period. Right? Middle Tennessee, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. Syracuse, for those who don't know, take a ton of threes. They actually average 8.7 threes a game. Middle Tennessee, 8 a game. Okay, that's a lot of threes being launched up. We locked this in yesterday or the day before at over 131. This one's come down, which surprised me a little bit. But this is another one where I'm going to be leaning towards the over here. Like I said, you look at that Middle Tennessee State against Michigan State. They just shot the lights out. I don't expect them to get to 90 against Syracuse. But Syracuse, that game against Dayton, they made 8 threes in that game. The game before against Pitt, they made 10. They'll shoot the lights out. Middle Tennessee struggles a little bit from the line, so I'm worried a little bit about that. Fucking Notre Dame, huh? Nice take. So that's that. But I do like the over in this one. As far as a side on this, I would probably take the points. I don't think Syracuse should be that much favored right now. But, you look, March always brings out wild outcomes. None more wild than that Middle Tennessee beating Michigan State. I thought Michigan State was going to win the tournament. But they're scoring 90 points on only 68 possessions. That's insane. That's 1.2 points per possession. That's absolutely, and what they just did there actually was 1.3 points per possession, Rest assured the performance won't be duplicated. We're talking about a squad that finished 7th in Conference USA in offensive efficiency. And there's one thing Syracuse does well. It does defend the three well. Dayton finished 6 of 22 from three. In conference, team shot 29% from three. and you look, they shot 11 of 19 against Sparty. So I don't expect that to duplicate. But I don't think that it's going to be a slow game either. I think this is going to be an Michigan State, Middle Tennessee is going to have to run. They're going to want to get up, try to beat Syracuse's zone. And the number's pretty good. I think both teams will get into the 60s with probably, 4 or 5 minutes left. And this is another one where it's a close game. And the number you're looking for, you want a team being down between 6 or 8 going into the last 2 minutes or so to extend the game. And I think you get that here either way. So another one where I like the over also. Middle Tennessee, I know a couple guards are a little banged up, if I'm not mistaken, but nothing that's going to keep them away, obviously. But we shall see. We shall see where that goes. But interesting either way, that it just blows my mind that one of these teams is going to be advancing regardless. Pretty shocked there. But yeah, so that's that. And now let's get into my 2 favorite teams. All right, if you're a fan of the show, you've been listening to the show, you guys know I've been pushing Xavier and Oregon down people's throats all year. Putting out my first top 5. Oregon, I don't even think was ranked, and I wanted to put him in my 5. I've had Xavier up as high as 1 in my top 5s. These are my 2 schools. Xavier looked great. They're going to have a great matchup now going forward against one of these 2 teams if they can get by Wisconsin. Very fishy line, obviously. One of the smallest ones of the day. 2 seed against a Wisconsin team that pesky team, man. Pesky team. It doesn't look good, but Xavier's not getting a lot of respect either. Non-conference games this year, they're 13-0. They haven't lost a non-conference game this year. That includes 10-3 against the spread. Pretty decent, if you ask me. Wisconsin, on the other hand, the fact that you get a coaching change in the middle of the season, what looked like to everybody to be a transition season, and the fact that he's got them in position to go to the Sweet 16 is pretty damn remarkable. It'll be a contrast to style and pace. You see the Musketeers averaging 81 points, 72 possessions a game, tops among remaining tournament teams. Let me say that again. 81 points and 72 possessions a game is the best among teams left. While the Badgers are scoring 68 points a game and only 63 possessions, right? Big basket there. Big basket. Needed that one. My God. Come on, Stephen F. Which ranks ahead of only Northern Iowa and Virginia in the field. So they're going to want to slow it up. And gearing up for Wisconsin's deliberate style of play, you look at that game against Weber State, good prep work, sort of the same type of play you're going to get from Weber State as you are Wisconsin as far as pace, okay? You don't need to hit me up on the chat box and say that Wisconsin and Weber State aren't the same. When you dig down to it, style of play and pace of play, they are. Talent-wise, obviously not. So we should see. Entering the second round this year, only Kentucky with 20 and Louisville with 15 had recorded more wins than Wisconsin's 14th since 2011. That's interesting. Musketeers have won 9 of the last 11 games against the Big Ten, including 3-1 in the tournament. Here's another one. I think Xavier should impose their will. If you watched up, Happy Palm Sunday, Jeremy, yes. They sort of imposed their will upon Weber State, but as expected, right? Xavier got the win and the cover. They didn't play great. You didn't look like Nova did, I'll tell you that. But you wouldn't, suspect that looking at the box scores. Musketeers shot 48%, 7 of 15 from 3, dominated the glass 43-27. But they missed a lot of layups. This is a team that missed a lot of close baskets. And then that Wisconsin-Pittsburgh game was just pitiful. If Wisconsin plays anything like they did against Pittsburgh, they're going to get blown out of the building. But I personally believe, and I know there's a lot of people believe it also, I think Wisconsin is a lot of smoke and mirrors, right? And I think that when they are going to get exposed, when they do, it could be to Xavier. If they have a good game, it could look a lot like that Villanova game that we just saw earlier, right? You look, one Wisconsin opponent worth pointing out is Purdue, right? Very similar style to Xavier in terms of size and personnel. In 2 regular season meetings against Wisconsin, Purdue held a combined 67-48 edge on the glass, 47-28 edge on the free throw line, right? Another similar opponent to that Wisconsin has faced that's close to Xavier is Michigan State, right? A team that the Badgers actually beat 77-76 in Madison, right? Victory, however, was largely fueled by a lopsided 36-16 free throw attempt advantage, okay? Sparty dominated the glass 35-25 in the loss. Did so again in the second meeting. They got a nice easy win. I think Xavier does the same here. The line is crazy, though. The line is crazy. I know there's not a lot of love for Xavier. That's why it's not a client play, but it's a free play. Bang! Bang! Look at that! It's such a big basket. Oh, my God. Thank God. All right, so there we're at. We're at for that game. Next. And, Hawaii, Maryland, first of all, okay? I fucking hate this Maryland team, plain and simple. They're garbage. They're another garbage team that won a game, okay? And Hawaii's not that great either. Maryland lucks out, another luck of the draw, right? California's Bird and Wallace, they weren't able to play. Hawaii gets the upset. Trying to win in the postseason is just impossible without your point guards and everything, right? But Hawaii played well. 52% effort from the floor. They have good talent that could play in any of these big schools with Bobbitt and Jankovic, or however you say his name. Maryland had to sweat out a win over South Dakota State. They're a lot like Purdue, Vanderbilt, teams of, difficult playing up to their potential, right? You look at a coach. A coach has never been here with expectations before. This coach has never coached a team that was supposed to win. These players have never been in a big spot. And when it comes down to it, I just don't think they have the nuts to do it, right? But it is Hawaii. You look on the season, the Terps are only 7-12 when favored by 7 or more points. It tells you a lot, right? But it's crazy that the line keeps moving. Hawaii showed the talent. While Maryland only allowed 52 points to San Diego, did allow 52 points to San Diego State in the second half and barely hung on for the win. I agree, Cal helped Hawaii, but what are you going to do? I mean, that's who they had to play. Hawaii can shoot the ball, right? You look at the first half. The first half's all the way to +4, right? Why is that significant? Well, let's take a look at Hawaii, right, in first half games when they're an underdog, right? Over the last 2 years, they've been in that spot 22 times where they've been an underdog. In the first half, they're 19-3 against the spread. 19-3. It's a pretty damn impressive number if you ask me. Against a Maryland team that I don't know how, could Maryland come out and start shooting the lights out? Sure. It could happen. I know about Maryland's balanced scoring and all that, but they don't hold on to the ball. A big problem earlier in the year for Maryland, was turnovers, right? And you look at Hawaii. They led the Big West in steals and play a type of tenacious defense that could create problems for Maryland. They ranked 11th in the Big Ten, Maryland, in turnover margin. They were -2 per game. Two good point guards. I think Bobbitt will give Trimble all he can handle. He had 17 points against Cal. Again, they were banked up. But, most importantly,